Hey guys, we're back here on the campus of Columbia Academy High School. I'm Colby. William is working the computer. We're here with Coach Keith Stanley, Holden Sandiford, Holden Sandiford, Lord. I get their names mixed up and then tie their last names up. I'm gonna call you Curly. Okay. We're here. We're just gonna talk some baseball a little bit. Appreciate y'all coming on. So first thing, starting out, Coach, let's talk about you. You know, head coach, big responsibility. Let's kind of take it back to your playing days and kind of where you went to school, how you grew up. Just talk a little bit about yourself.
Grew up in little old Brooklyn, Mississippi. Went to Forest County Agriculture High School. Played under Coach Dolan and Coach Hankins out there. Coach Dolan's found his way back there, and Coach Hankins, the head football coach at Purvis now. Those two guys, including my father, is really three guys that got me into this. They do it the right way. They showed me the right way, and it just kind of stuck in me. And I've told everybody my whole life I really don't know what I'd be doing if I wasn't coaching, because I don't know anything else. I don't know anything else besides building a relationship with kids, making memories, trying to impact players' lives on and off the field. I went to Pearl River Community College. Had some injuries and ended up being a director of baseball operations. That's why I met Coach Lindsay, who's over at Columbia High. Me and him got real tight, and found my way out in Marion County. Had no idea what Columbia Academy was. Being in a public school in Brooklyn, I had no idea, and found my way out here. And I've been here 7 years now, and it's a blessing. These kids, the administration, everything about this place is truly a blessing for anyone who come here.
Okay, so your first coaching job was here at the high school, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then grew up in Brooklyn, Mississippi. I know Kyle Dolan played with him and all that.
One of my best friends.
Yeah. So you went through the years here, won a state championship, and then took over as a head coach. What all do you feel like you kind of learned during that time to help you as a head coach, if you could take anything during that time? Obviously, not many people win a state championship, so that's a rare thing in itself.
Really, one of the biggest things for me taken away, it wasn't the fundraising, the field maintenance or anything like that. It was more of sitting back as an assistant and watching relationships be built or not be built. I worked under Heath Smith for the first couple of years, and a lot of my growing as a coach comes from him. He was really good at building relationships, and I saw that, and I saw how close knit that makes a baseball program, or any kind of program, really, not just baseball. So that's one of the big things I took away growing as an assistant was relationships and how they can impact the player on and off the field.
Okay, so obviously got a good group coming up this year. We're going to get to that in a minute. Let's talk about your coaching staff. It seems like to me you have a really good staff with some really good names. I'm sure this ain't going to be the first time some of our viewers have heard these names. Can talk about your staff a little bit.
Yeah, well, our pitching coach is Coach Larry Knight, who everybody should know. He's a 25, 30-year vet in the state of Mississippi. There is no telling how many wins he has or state championships he has at Summerall High School. Our other assistant coach is our head softball coach here, Kyle Wilkes. He's obviously very well known in Columbia. Ran Dean Griner for so many years. He's been our head softball coach. I think we got the job at the same time. I think he's going on year 4 as well. And we just recently hired junior high head coach, and it's actually Coach Knight's son, Alex Knight. So we'll have 2 Knights on staff and Coach Kyle Wilkes on staff. The Andrew Knight, or is it Alex or Andrew? It's Alex, right? Alex will be our head junior high coach, and he'll help where we see fit, whether it's with hitters or defenders. Me and Coach Wilkes usually handle the hitting, and it's kind of an all staff help situation when it comes to defensive stuff.
Okay, so you mentioned the head junior high coach, and obviously your hands are busy with a lot of things, with doing football and baseball. And how big is it to be able to have a staff with that many coaches? And I guess that might be a common theme around private schools or even Columbia Academy, but it seems like to me most schools aren't so lucky to have that many coaches per player.
Right. Yeah. I mean, we're blessed. You you go to the schools and some people only have two. I know me and Coach Jerkins from West talk all the time about needing help. I'm glad I think he's found some help this year with Coach Eubanks. I'm glad he's got some help. It can be a real struggle on and off the field, keep you up late at night when you have a lot of stuff that you have to handle by yourself. But my staff does a really good job. They do whatever you ask them to do. They show up whenever you ask them to do. And, having a 4-man staff like that, being able to handle the days in and the days out of the program, it makes us really blessed.
Okay, so talking a little bit about the team, obviously you got 2 seniors right here that you're obviously expecting a lot from this year. And I didn't introduce, I'm going to reintroduce these 2 guys because I botched their name. So this is Holden Hartzog, and this is it's a T. Man, I can't pronounce T's. Holden Hartzog, Holden Sandifer. It ain't, I'll get it down the road. But, so talk about your group this year. How many seniors do you have? What kind of spots do you see guys competing for? I know there's a lot between now and then, but you kind of see talent through the fall and see where you might have, and share as much as you're willing on what you expect for the upcoming year.
We have 6 seniors. They've been with us. All 6 of them have been with us from day one since 7th grade, since they were able to play. I've coached every single one of them since 7th grade. They're kind of the group that is starting to get Columbia Academy of Baseball back to a known name. We took a nosedive after the COVID year, didn't have a very good year, and we've kind of floated under the radar. And this group of seniors have kind of helped get a name back to Columbia Academy of Baseball and put us back on the map. That's a testament to all the hard work they put in. Nothing to do with coaching. They buy into what we want here, and they buy into our culture and what we believe in. But position-wise, we lost our middle infield last year, Hayes Carley and Chandler Carver. Hayes Carley is now at Jones College playing baseball. So that's obviously going to be a big hole to fill. We've got some guys competing for those 2 positions right now. We also got guys at basketball that are going to be able to compete for that position as well whenever they get through a basketball season. So right now, looking at the blank piece of paper, that's obviously your 2 holes you've got to fill. The bright side is that we bring back every single inning that was thrown last year. We did not graduate a single inning. If we threw 160 of them, all 160 of them are coming back. So that's going to be something that we're able to hang our hat on.
Awesome. So obviously you 2 have played a good bit. I got to looking at your stats. You've played a good bit of high school baseball. We'll start with you, Holden. What do you expect? Some goals that you want to throw out for yourself this year and this team. I mean, talk about what you expect from younger kids to help as well.
I mean, personally, for my goals, I at least want to try and bat at least 430 with 4 or 5 bombs, and then I would say just for team wise and the younger kids, we just need the seniors and stuff to be leaders and lead them in the right way and just show how we do it here and that kind of stuff like that. And I mean, as a team goal, I at least want to try and make it past 2nd round, try and reclaim that title.
Okay. What about you, Holden?
Well, I want to fill the role of leadoff. I was 2 goal last year behind Hayes. Hayes was a big player. He batted 445 last year. I got to step up and take that role this year. And pitching wise, I got to do better. Get a lower ERA this year. Be behind. Me and Buckley should be top 2 this year.
Gotcha. So Holden, he kind of answered his, but played a little while. Some younger kids, what's some knowledge or hardships, things you've learned over playing high school baseball the past few years that would help a younger kid that's going to struggle? Obviously it's a speed of the game increases, things get harder. Obviously everybody around here talks about the young kids, but I feel like the young kids are only as good as the older kids that help them. So y'all seen a lot of good baseball. Were y'all around when the state championship was won? What grade were y'all?
We were in 6th grade.
6th grade. So, y'all seen winning. Obviously, y'all won over the past few years too, but y'all seen the pinnacle of winning. So, what would be something that you would tell a younger kid that might be watching that's on your team?
Just always keep pushing for sure.
How about you, Holden? You got anything?
I'd say don't let stuff get in your head. It's easy to get in your head in baseball.
Big middle game.
Just keep pushing. Keep pushing.
Awesome. We got for our listeners, if there's any questions, I don't know if the chat is on there, but y'all ask some questions and William will get them to.
They've already started. This one's for the coach. How is Logan Buckley doing pitching wise after his Tommy John surgery?
He didn't have Tommy John surgery, but he's fine. He's in basketball right now, hooping it up, winning a lot of games. Some baseball coaches don't like basketball season, but I enjoy it because they're winning games in there and they're going to bring the winning mentality on the hill. So he's doing fine.
Well, Mason and Bailey asked, so I'm glad you clarified that.
Okay. I don't know. Who was that a joke?
I have no idea.
Hopefully, we'll knock on wood before we leave here.
Yeah,
Logan
yeah.
stays healthy.
Yeah.
We'll get to the younger group. Just mentioned Logan, mentioned Trent. I mentioned Zach McCain, mentioned a lot of those younger kids. What is the future? Obviously, it's very bright. How does that group gel going into the future? I know you got some that's going to be playing a ton of varsity this year. What do you kind of expect for the future?
The future's extremely bright. You've mentioned some names. We'd be here for an hour and a half if I went through all the names. But obviously, we've got some younger guys called up to the varsity this year that are going to get some meaningful varsity innings. And we got some real good talent in our junior high that's not going to get called up because I still think they need some junior high innings. And so this place is just penetrated with so much talent. It kind of falls back on this county and baseball talent in this county. I'd be lying if you wouldn't catch me at Dean Griner every now and then watching some of the talent just in all four schools. Talent in this area is so baseball rich. So we're not the only school. I know we're not the only school, but I don't like harping on it so much because some of these older guys have put in the work to deserve their names to be talking about it. And but yeah, we're extremely talented in the younger ranks, the 8th, 9th, and the 10th grade class, and I expect them to carry the load for a long time here.
Exactly. So, we got another question?
Yeah, we don't have a username for this one. It's anonymous. They asked the two impact players, do you push yourselves or do you push by each other to be better?
That's a good question.
I would say a little bit of both, honestly. You want to push yourself hard, and I mean, once you say that, I mean, it's not. And then you also want to be with your bros, like your brothers, pushing them too, as you steadily increase in the game of baseball.
I got one for y'all too. If let's say a college coach was watching this, both of y'all are seniors. How would you explain? Holden, you go first, and then Holden can go. Yeah, I pronounced it right there. How would you explain yourself as a baseball player? If you think somebody that's never seen you play before, how would you explain yourself?
Got speed, grit. I'm gritty. I'm gonna try to find a way to get on base, hitting. If you're throwing 88, I'm gonna bunt it down third base line and get on base.
Okay. What about you, Holden?
See, I've always been a strong hitter for sure. Not much for power, just extra bases and stuff like that. And then catching wise, I'm jam up catcher, no balls passed. I think I maybe had one pass ball last year, and then 5 or 6 thrown out. Hopefully this year another goal on that is at least maybe let 3 go this year.
Gotcha.
3 bases stolen.
Yeah. So, speaking on that, what positions do you play? I know you mentioned catcher. What all positions do you play, Holden?
Center field and pitcher.
Center field and pitcher. Okay. So do we got any? Is there?
No, go ahead. Oh yeah, we do. Baseball exclusive. Are both of these young men baseball exclusive?
No. I play football and baseball.
Me too.
Are y'all big on multi-sport? Do you think you're a better athlete because you're multi-sport?
Yes, I do fully believe in that.
Well, I can add something to this. This is big old youngins, so it's helped some. We in the weight room right now. They must stay in here a bunch. So very impressive. So
I got a question off that myself personally. Were you raised to play every type of ball possible, or because you're in a smaller school setting, you feel obligated to play more?
I was raised. My brothers, they all played multiple sports. So.
What about you, young man?
Yeah, I was raised like that too, but after my 9th grade year of football, I kind of I quit because I wanted to focus on baseball. I really think that helped me out a lot, honestly. It really did.
So I'm gonna ask both of y'all, and then we'll let Coach Stanley put his input in, and that's probably going to be the most accurate one. Who do y'all think on the group is the most competitive player y'all have? Who's somebody when y'all go to compete, and it doesn't matter what it is, just somehow finds a way to win, hates losing? Is there anybody that comes to mind, or is it kind of
I think there's a few of us.
okay?
We're a pretty competitive group.
Yeah, it don't matter if it's a wiffle ball game, flipping tractor tires. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be
We're a pretty competitive
it's
group.
team round.
Okay, so not really anyone. Can you, Coach? Can you think of anybody that?
That's tough. It's a loaded question is what that is. Now, these two right here now, it's funny that this question got brought up. I think it wasn't this past week, maybe it was the week before that. We had a machine pitcher in our squad, and Curly down there was on the losing team. And the look on his face, you would have thought he was ready to hurt somebody because he lost. And we talk about every day when you step between the white lines, when you step on that grass, there's no friends, it's war is what we like to call it. We got our helmet, we got our bat, we got our weapons, and we're going to war. And these two and a couple more seniors, but these two might be some of the two most competitive ones we have.
Gotcha.
Separation comes by preparation.
Oh yeah, that's it.
That's their motto.
So both of y'all went to Columbia Academy y'all's whole lives. What does it mean to be able to watch baseball or sports here all these years, and then now this is your last go at it? What kind of emotions, feelings come to mind when you think about that?
It means a lot. My brother won a state championship his junior year, so we're trying to make it this year too, win state again. I was always told him when I was younger, my 6th grade year, I'm going to win state my senior year too. So it's a big year. We were expecting to win it last year. We got knocked out early, so it left a bad taste in our mouth.
I would say the same on that. I mean, it's big. It's crazy all the time. I mean, everybody says like, don't believe your eye, and it's just here. Like, it's crazy, but I'm really looking forward to this season. I think it's going to be a good season, and try and get that ring.
I hear you. So we're talking future. Where would, obviously, I'm assuming both of y'all would like to continue playing baseball. Where does that rank? And let's just hypothetically say something doesn't work out and it doesn't happen. What are your future plans?
If I don't go and pursue my career in baseball, I'm probably going to go down to Southeastern and get a degree in industrial technology.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I'm going to PLC for school though. I don't go play baseball.
Awesome. So, Coach, I know we kind of glanced over it a little bit. Obviously, I'm not too familiar with private school and how it works. Can you kind of talk about what district y'all are in, what class? I know I believe there's only 3 classes. Is that right? Okay, I'm way off.
Yeah, there's 6. There's
Six,
6. So there's
okay.
6 classes. We are in 5A. We're in the 2nd largest one. Somehow we're a small school, but we're still in the 2nd largest class in baseball. In private school, you have football's classified as one sport, and then all other sports have their separate class. So in football, we're 4A. Baseball and basketball, softball, the other sports, we're 5A. It's a really strong class. Magnolia Heights out of the north they ran the class for the last century, honestly. They're the Summerall, Oak Grove, the private school ranks in the 5A. Obviously, you have Prep and Hartfield and all them. They're in 6A, so we don't have to worry about them. So 5A, our division is one of the toughest in 5A. I'm glad we're in it. We have Brookhaven Academy, Silliman Institute out of Louisiana, Oak Forest Academy out of Louisiana, and Bowling Green. And it's usually a dogfight every year for first place. Brookhaven won it last year. They lost some kids, and we look to take the reins of it this year and get back on top in our division. But it's easily one of the toughest in 5A.
Gotcha. So in comparison to those other schools, do you see your team being more offensive, or do you feel like y'all are going to be better on the mound, or is it kind of a mix? Obviously, y'all got a lot of really good players on both sides.
Yeah, that's a question it's kind of tough right now. I was actually just talking with Coach Knight last week about it. You would think with all the innings that we've brought back that we should be established and dominant on the mound. But at the same time, we lost 2 big bats to graduation. And so replacing those 2 big bats are going to be tough. But we got some younger guys that didn't play last year that we're expecting to step up and play. They have really bright futures in baseball. So it's kind of a question mark right now, but if I would have to give an answer, I would say we're going to be a pitching and defense type of team. I think if my memory serves me correct, I think we got 6 arms right now that I'm not scared to run out there on opening day. That could be our opening day starter if we wanted to. So when you have that luxury of you can draw them out of a hat, I think you're going to be a pretty solid club on the mound.
Exactly. So, Coach Lindsay, Lord, Coach Stanley, if you were to get kids and create the perfect team, what's the first place you start? What are you looking for to be like? Would you rather pitch it really well? Would you rather hit it very well? Would you rather have just the easy balance of both? What is the first thing you look for to try to build a team?
I think anybody wants balance. I think if you ask any coach, that every coach is going to want balance in a perfect world. Honestly, and my preference, I'm an offensive guy. I've been an offensive guy. That's a good reason why we hired Coach Knight, because I can look at him and say, go be with your pitchers, go pitch it up, and I don't really want nothing to do with him. That's he's a guru at it, so to say, and that's something I don't have to worry about, so I don't really try to worry about it. I focus on hitters, trying to be the best possible hitter we can. So I guess honestly, the real answer is I probably want a team that can just knock the absolute cover off the ball every time.
Gotcha. All right, guys. So talking about Coach Stanley here, how would you describe Coach Stanley? Is he pretty easygoing,
Be
even
nice,
keeled?
guys. We're lying.
Well, the thing is, he can't strangle you on camera.
That's true.
So is he high intensity? What's y'all's take on that?
He's both. He's high intensity though. And when we practice, when we get across those lines, he's gonna tell you straightforward how it is. But once we're off the field, he's a cool guy. He'll do anything for you.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the same on that. He hit it right on the point.
Gotcha. We got any more?
Yeah, actually, it's a question for all 3 of them. If you're ending a season for a team this year, each one of y'all, what team would that be?
Bowling Green.
Wow, that's quick. What about you, young man? If you got to choose what season ended, what team would it be?
It'd have to be in the playoffs. Kapaa, they put us out last year.
Okay, Kapaa, Bowling Green. What about you, Coach?
I got a different answer. I would go Brookhaven Academy. I can't stand them. Me and their coach are real tight. We're good friends. We coach state games together, and we respect one another. But when the game starts and we get in between those white lines, we want to beat each other just as bad as one another. So I'd say Brookhaven Academy.
Well, I guess you'll get a chance. All 3 of y'all get a chance to do that if it
Absolutely.
plays out.
So talking about some of the other teams in y'all's division, district, whatever you want to call it, what do you see? Who are the guys you got to look out for? I mean, I know it's a good district. Who do you think is going to be more of the front runners in that competing with y'all?
In our district alone, Brookhaven will be, I think they've earned the respect to talk about them being back. I think they're back-to-back district champs. They're well coached. Caleb Upton's there. He's a high-knowledge baseball guy. He does a good job with the kids. They graduated, I think 3 or 4 kids, and all 3 or 4 went and played college baseball. They still have some talent there, so they're going to be up in the ranks. And also Oak Forest Academy, who's there's a Pearl River alum there, Jake Brumfield. He's the head baseball coach there. Me and him are real tight as well. And their team's very similar to ours. They have a medium-sized senior class who's kind of built that thing up, but they have a really talented 9th and 10th grade bunch that's going to carry them some wins.
Gotcha. So do we have any?
Oak Forest, is that Amite, Louisiana?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Where is Silliman based?
Clinton, Louisiana.
Clinton, Louisiana. Okay.
So
I got a question for the coach here. This is a personal question.
Yeah.
Making lineups, does it? And I don't want to draw the public school, private school line here, but I'm gonna have to.
Yeah.
Are there some days you feel like you have more pressure when you're making the lineup because of who the kid is? You see what I'm saying? Because you're in a situation in private school, it's a little different public school.
Right, absolutely. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little different, so no.
Okay.
My deal is, and it's kind of like what they just said. I'm as real as they're gonna get. I'm gonna tell you how it is, and I'm telling you how it is because the truth's the best part of this world. If you can't handle the truth, then we can talk about it. So no, my job at this school is to make sure these kids are good people, make sure they graduate, make sure they become good fathers and husbands, and to play the best nine possible that it takes to win Columbia Academy baseball. So if whoever that is, that's who's going to be in the lineup. I tell them every year, I don't make the lineup. The pen don't make the lineup. Y'all make the lineup with these 74 practices that we have before the game.
So these young men gonna be mad at you for a minute, but if they're scuffling a little bit and you pull them out of the lineup,
Absolutely.
they'll
Absolutely.
understand. You guys understand that.
Holden Hartzog understands definitely. I'm going to share this memory. A couple of years ago, was it sophomore year? Sophomore year, he was struggling. He was struggling with the bat, and he was starting varsity majority of the year. And it came to a point where he had to be sit and he had to be benched, and he pouted. He was mad. He could have hurt me like any other. He's told me before. But I think he'll tell you to this day that it made him a better player in the long run because I was being real. I wasn't just throwing him out there because he was holding hard. I was giving another kid an opportunity because they deserved an opportunity, and at that time he didn't.
Building character.
Yep.
Well, and the thing I got to thinking about on that too is if everything's bad, but the environment around you hadn't changed, you're still getting the same opportunities and stuff's being bad. There ain't really a sense of urgency. But you see it at every level.
Mm-hmm.
If you struggle enough, they're going to sit you back a little bit. You got time to regroup and then go back out there. But so talking about this school, 4A in baseball, 5A in football, other way around. Yeah. Lord,
Other way around.
So, how many kids go to this school? How close? It seems like a very close school.
Yeah, it's a very tight knit school. I couldn't tell you the exact number. I know we're a very small private school. We're one of the smaller ones in the South, depending on where you want to draw the South at of the line. But that's why it's one of the good reasons why I love this school. It's very family oriented. Everybody knows everybody. You go to Ramey's right now in town, you will probably see someone that works here or someone that goes to school here. And you shake their hand and ask them how they're doing on the weekends. Now, it's just really fun, I think. I didn't go to school here, but my wife did, and she talks about it the same way. It's something that when these two see each other in 10 years from now, they can share all the memories they've made with their brothers, with their cousins, with their neighbors, with whoever, because it's such a tight-knit school.
Talking about size. Guys, how big is y'all senior class?
I think like maybe 35, 32, somewhere up in there.
See, that's what's crazy.
That's what blows my mind. Because
Yeah.
he's talking about how small they are, but then they're in one of the largest classes. And
Do y'all ever think, and maybe this is the wrong way to look at it, but y'all ever think that, y'all are placed too high, or those schools that y'all are playing against, are they? Because it seems like to me a 5A, I think about the 5As that West Marion would play against, some big old schools,
It's weird how we actually just got redistricted this past November, and we're moving down. No, excuse me, I'm sorry, we're staying the same. But we're on the sheet, the redistricting sheet that they sent to everybody. We're the smallest school in this upcoming class that we'll be in next year. And I think the biggest school, I couldn't tell you their name, but they separated us by 70 to 80 kids. And that's someone that we'll have to compete against in the state playoffs if we ever get that far one day. And, a lot of people fuss about it. A lot of people like to complain that we should be smaller in classification. I hope my kids will tell you the same thing. I don't care. Give me a ball, give me a bat, give me a football, basketball, and let's just compete and let's see what happens. That's what we're here for. That's the name of the game. And, I don't care how big you are, how tall you are, how fast you throw. We're going to go toe-to-toe with you and give you everything we got.
Exactly. So, Coach, obviously you got your personality they mentioned earlier. We kind of had this when we was talking to the other two schools. Do you think your team mimics your personality, or you think as a whole they mimic, or you think it's a little bit different, or what do you like to see in that?
I do. I think mainly because I've been around them so long. I've been coaching this senior class since they were seventh graders, and I've been here since they were, I guess, fifth graders or fourth graders. They've seen me a long time, and they've seen how I handle adversity. They see how I handle success. They see it all. So I would hope they mimic it. The good part anyway. I hope they don't mimic some of the bad parts. There is bad days. Everybody has bad days. That includes the kids, and we talk about it a lot about having to handle those bad days. I would say majority of them mimic it. you know, and it kind of makes an old man, makes an old coach proud when they do that.
Gotcha. We got anything?
Coach, does a championship equal success, or do you have a different definition for a successful season?
That's a tough one. I guess it kind of depends on. I think it depends on the situation. You know, I think everybody has their definition of success. If you're in it for the right reasons, no, I don't think championship means success. I think building these kids up and making them men, making them respectable men of this community to represent Marion County wherever they go one day. You know, I think that's the whole process behind what we're doing here. Now, some people might think differently and say it's championship or bust, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but you know, I hold a pretty high standard with relationships, and you know, having these kids come back in 10 years, hopefully I'm still here, and bring their kid or bring their grandkid or whatever to the ballpark to see their old baseball coach.
Awesome. That's good.
Got one more for these two gentlemen right here. Is there one underclassman that you personally feel you could mentor through the season?
I think so.
Who?
Corbin Lawrence.
Who?
Corbin Lawrence.
Corbin Lawrence.
Yes, sir.
That's your guy.
Yes, sir.
All right, Corbin Lawrence, if you're listening, your mentor, he just named you. Say, what about you, young man? I know he took yours, didn't he?
Yeah.
Hey, Corbin, dude, you're in good shape. Man, it's been thinking hard on it.
I'd say Carson Stewart.
Who was that now?
Carson Stewart. We just got him up for JV, and it's the same way I kind of was when I was his age. So he's gonna get thrown into the fire this year. Not playing that much junior high or at all. So I think I can really. He's playing the same position as me, center field. So I think I
All
can really
right.
teach him something.
We got it recorded now. Coach, you remember what they just said?
Well, I guess that if we don't have, we
Got one more question,
Keep 'em
looks
rolling.
like.
We'll keep
One
this
more
thing going.
question. Let's see what he says here. Coach, will you depend heavily on underclassmen or on your senior class?
Mix. It's going to be a mix of both. You know, we're fortunate to have something we haven't had in the past years, and that's depth, whether it's young or old. You know, there's going to be times where all 6 seniors might be in a lineup, and there's going to be some nights where it might be 4 seniors and 4 ninth graders and 2 sophomores. So I think it's going to be a mix, and I think that's the kind of mix that we need because, as I said at the beginning of the video, the 6 seniors we got, they're the reason we're here. They're the reason why people are hyping, quote unquote, the Columbia Academy baseball team this year. They built this thing up, and they just got to lead us to the promised land.
It looks like that might be the end of the questions. So if you're ready.
Well, guys, first of all, I want to appreciate Coach Stanley. Both these 2 studs right here who have abnormally large arms. So
And
I want to thank y'all for having us here. Thanks for coming on. We really appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
y'all.
All right, that'll wrap it up today. We'll see you guys next Sunday. Another live broadcast will be going to East Marion High School to wrap up part 4 of our Marion County baseball preview. Y'all have a good evening. See y'all next Sunday.